Yo, what's good, YouTube? In today's video, I'm giving you guys my top 5 class setups to use here for the Nuketown update. If you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so hopping in here before we get into our first gun, I want to give you guys a kind of brief overview to what you should be running here on your overall setup. The first thing is going to be, of course, like, you have your pistol, your melee. That's totally up to you guys what you want to be able to run. After that, we have our tactical, which is going to be either for the stim shot or the smoke would be my recommendations. Smoke's going to help you capture maybe that B flag, A flag, C flag, whatever it may be on, Nuketown, because a lot of us are going to be playing that. So stim shot or smoke is going to be great. Your lethal is going to be kind of like whatever you want to run realistically. Frag grenades are going to work. My preference is Semtex. C4s can work, thermos, impact, molotovs. Pretty much anything in here, maybe minus a combat axe is going to be good to go. Then after that, in the field upgrade, I go for the assault pack personally. I just like to be able to replenish my ammo while going on streaks. So for me, that's going to be my preference. And then down here, we're running all the green perks, basically Flak Jacket, Fast Hands, and Guardian. And then we have the Strategist combat specialty, which helps you earn score bonus for objectives, destroy enemy equipment, see equipment through walls, deploy equipment, and field upgrades faster. So this is going to be pretty much like your OBJ style setup. You guys don't have to run this, but overall, that's going to be great. So let's get here to the Tonto and show you guys the ultimate setup for this thing. By the way, and in private match, for you guys are wondering what it says waiting for host up top. The reason I am doing that is just because my account currently has been shadow banned after trying to rank up some guns. So I've been using these setups on friends' accounts, but I don't have them on mine. This allows me to craft it up for you guys. So first thing is going to be the Kepler Microflex. This is kind of like your optimal red dot sight to use. You guys can realistically, if you want to go down, use like Merlin. I think there's the Q spot reflex down here. This is really solid as well. But pretty much if you have the option to, I'd recommend for the Kepler Micro Reflex. After that, we're gonna go for the suppressor on here. This is one of those things where, like, you got an SMG, maybe if you want to try to go back and forth between the houses, something like that, or even just you're playing regular OBJ game modes or regular, Black Ops 6 in general, the suppressor is kind of like my recommendation for like 99% of guns. So I'd say to go for that, especially on a SMG. You're trying to be pretty agile, pretty mobile, and maybe not show up on the radar. After that barrel section, we're gonna use the long barrel. The Tonto or the Tanto, whatever you want to call this thing, has an exceptional, damage range to be able to pick people off, and especially if you're playing Nuketown, you're gonna be able to beam people from house to house without really having too much issue. So I'd say the long barrel is really gonna help you out with that, and that's gonna be my recommendation here for this gun. On the barrel section, we're gonna go down to the last one in here, the Ranger Grip. So this can help with your horizontal recoil and your sprinting movement speed. Both things are pretty crucial. Obviously horizontal recoil is something that you basically can't really control. It's not something, even for the most experienced players out there, especially even on controller, you're not going to be able to control it. It's really hard, it's really difficult. And sprinting movement speed is great when you're trying to get from place to place. It does make a difference. After that magazine, we're gonna go for the extended mag 1, which if you guys actually don't want to run the extended mag, I'd recommend just running the flip mag, which doesn't actually decrease your overall magazine size. It just makes it so your reload is faster, which can be pretty nice. For me, actually, I run like the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge, so I have 2 back paddles when I'm playing on PS5, because that's currently what I'm playing on, since I can't play on my normal account right now, or I can't play on PC on my account. So I've been using my PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller, which only has 2 paddles as opposed to 4, like my Scuff and Vision does when I play on PC. But I have that actually mapped to just jump, and then basically my triangle or my YY, so that way I can actually YY, like I can reload YY real quick, and that allows me to not have to deal with the full animation. So I have that just even with the flip mag, because it seems like I get caught reloading all the time in this game. I don't like it. So the extended mag or the flip mag, it's totally up to you. I just kind of want a bit of a rant right there, but that's kind of like my reasoning behind running both and like using a controller in a specific setup. After that rear grip section, we're gonna use the assault grip to help with our overall sprint to fire speed. This is pretty nice. It helps you out quite a bit. The name of the game is to be agile and mobile. So with an SMG, sprint to fire speed is king. And now for the stock section, we go for the balanced stock. This is gonna help with our overall aim, walking movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. This is just really great here. It helps you kind of, like it does exactly what it says, that it is a balanced stock. Helps you do a variety of things really well. So I quite enjoy that. I don't really feel like I need the no stock, which definitely can help out with your overall movement speed. But overall, I say the no stock or the balanced stock are gonna be your best options in here. And then lastly, we're gonna go for the laser section. We're gonna throw on the steady aim laser just to kind of help us out with our overall hip fire spread. Obviously, everything's pretty close quarters, and sometimes because of, the aim assist not being as strong in this game, up to about 6 meters. In Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, it's very, very, very strong, so you can really tell the difference. Having that ability to hip fire and hit some extra shots can be obviously make or break, and a lot of players don't really be hitting their shots at close range nearly as well as they used to, because obviously the aim assist is not there. So steady aim is going to help y'all out. So that's going to be my full setup right there for the Tanto 22. Next up, we're taking a look here at the XM4. This is going to be a really solid setup to use 5 attachments. First thing in here is going to be, well, I don't know why it actually just got off that, but we have the AQ Spot Reflex, which is going to be like a really solid one to run. I've been actually really liking this specific sight here on the XM4. We actually have, of course, the Kepler Micro Reflex, but the Q or the Micro or even like the Merlin, it's kind of more or less up to you and what you want to run. But for certain guns, the Kepler is going to work better. But for this one, I just have felt so like comfortable, consistent using this that I've just stuck with it. So that's why we have that on there. But I wouldn't recommend going down here and throwing on something like, you know, the Hollow or anything else like that, or 2 or 3 times. That's not going to be beneficial, or especially not the 4 times. But the red dots is really what you want to use. It's up to you. After that, we're gonna go for the muzzle. We're gonna throw on the ported compensator. So this helps out a lot with your first shot recoil and your vertical recoil control. This gun will bounce around just a little bit, and specifically if you're trying to like use an AR for AR related things, which is medium-ish range, not super close range, and especially if you're playing Nuketown, you're gonna have to hit those shots at longer distances, maybe across, you know, across the general middle area there from house to house, something like that. And being accurate is going to help you out, and everyone's going to know where you're at anyways. It's Nuketown. It's not like you're running up and staying in someone's house trying to be real aggressive. So the ported compensator is going to help y'all out. Like I gave you guys the suppressor on the Tanto because the playstyle is very different for that. This is like a little bit kind of stay back at home style setup. Barrel section, we're still going to go for the long barrel on this thing, just to increase out our damage range as much as possible. The damage range in this game, it's like you can really feel a drop off, especially on SMGs and even ARs. When you don't have a good damage range, it does like really, it is like really noticeable. So you definitely want to have the maximum damage range possible to make sure that your fastest TTK profile is extended out as far as it can be. You will win a lot more gunfights that way. You don't really need to worry about like your bullet velocity. It's pretty short distances in multiplayer. What you just have to care about is where your damage drop off is. After that, underbarrel section, we're gonna go for the Ranger grip here for horizontal recoil and of course sprinting movement speed. We have the same thing on the Tanto. The reason being is just, I mean, it is Nuketown. It's more close quarters, it's more hectic. So being able to sprint from place to place a little bit faster helps you. And of course, horizontal recoil, you know, we don't want to be dealing with that. So that's why we have that there. Lastly, we're gonna go for the magazine. We're gonna go for the extended mag 2. And normally speaking, if you're playing regular, you know, Black Ops 6, I'd say extended mag 1 is gonna be perfectly fine. But given that this is indeed Nuketown, I'd recommend probably extended mag 2. Or there's a couple in here like maybe fast mag. That'll be good if you want to get a little bit of a faster reload in and you don't maybe have the ability to YY. Maybe your sprint cancels reload, maybe do that. But there are some situations where having 60 rounds in a mag can come in pretty handy. Maybe if you're on an OBJ, you know, trying to cap that B flag using the perk package I gave you guys, that'll be pretty solid. Even just fast mag or extended mag 1. You really can't go too wrong with any of those, but I'd recommend staying away from fast mag 2. And I personally haven't tested out extended mag 3, which gives you 100 rounds. This kind of reminds me of the Kilo 141 from MW 2019, but I haven't tried that out for, you know, basically this gun. I've only ever tried extended mag 2, fast mag 1, and extended mag 1. So that's gonna be my full setup right there for the XM4. Our next up is gonna be the PP19. We're gonna be jumping in here because this is an SMG the pro players are using. It is absolutely filthy. Got a great damage profile, fast TTK, low recoil. So I mean, it's got like all the things you really want. But our first attachment is the suppressor. Obviously, we're trying to stay off the radar, be a little bit more sneaky when we're playing Nuketown, because we're going to be getting in people's houses, you know, stuff like that. So this does help you out. After that, barrel section, we're going to go for the long barrel here. I mean, pretty much the long barrel seems to be more of a staple to my loadouts just because it's like, hey, damage range, it does make the biggest difference. You can really tell if you take off a damage profile barrel, take off the long barrel, run no barrel versus running this, like you will really tell the difference if you try to A/B test it. It's pretty noticeable. So we have that on there just for this. Magazine, we're gonna go for the Fast Mag 2. The reason we're running this Fast Mag 2 is just because it has 40 rounds, which is still acceptable. I mean, you don't even have to run a magazine on this thing because it's got more than enough ammo, but having 40 rounds, not a ridiculously fast fire rate, and be able to get a quick reload in, this is gonna set you up for success when you're really around a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't gonna have a reload speed as fast as you or have a gun that can kill as fast as what you got. So we have that. Rear grip section, we're gonna go for the commando grip. This helps with our ADS speed and sprint to fire, which is pretty nice. So that is something that's pretty huge. I thought this is a nice little 2-for-1 kind of deal right here. So I've been rocking that and having good success with it when I've been getting my gameplays, because I've been uploading daily, like basically double class set of videos. Stock section, we're gonna go for the balanced stock here, though I will say no stock actually does work decently well, so that's another good option. but the balance stock is pretty solid, and I do like having a little bit of strafing movement speed. It does kind of help you out when you're trying to like ADS back and forth. A little bit goes a long way, so I like that. Second to last is the steady aim laser. The steady aim, it's just like, hey, SMG for close range, hip fire spread matters. I mean, obviously I was talking about with the Tanto, the aim assist not being as much there, so it's the same sort of principle, same concept. We want the steady aim laser on that. And lastly, we're gonna go for the fire mod, and we're gonna make this thing fire even faster because it's a bit of a slower firing gun, and throw on the rapid fire mod. So this is not like a, you're not gonna be picking people off at real distances, but you can use the rapid fire mod. And if you really don't want to, I recommend just going for like the overpressured rounds or the recoil springs. You can basically swap to either of these two if you don't want to use rapid fire, or if you don't want to use a fire mod at all and you don't want to use the iron sights, go throw on a red dot sight of your choice. This is kind of one of those things where you can switch it out. I just like the iron sights. They're real easy to use, so I'm like, why waste an attachment on an optic? But overall, you can use the rapid fire, overpressured, or recoil spring. So that's be my full build right there for the PP19. Next up is going to be a build here with the Model L, pretty much one of the better assault rifles in the entire game. I don't know why it does this every time I click onto it, but basically the Model L is such a good AR. I think pro players are trying to GA this gun. Basically, it's like a gentleman's agreement, like no one's going to use it. I don't really know why they do that so early on, considering there's no map pool, stuff's not been figured out, but this is one of those guns where they're trying to get rid of it just because it's so good and it's such a laser beam. So we have the acute spot reflex right here. So that's just pretty much my go-to optic. Like I said, for the XM4, you can use whatever you want, personal preference. At that muzzle, we're gonna run the ported compensator here. I mean, we're just gonna make this thing as much of a laser beam as possible. I mean, you can for real stay at home, post up on something, really defend an OBJ using this setup, and you're just gonna absolutely fry. So go ahead and try this out. If not, you can throw in a suppressor and basically still beam very, very easily. Barrel section, once again, sticking with that long barrel. I mean, listen, I talked about this, I'm not gonna talk about it ad nauseum, but damage range is king. It does really make a difference. Underbarrel section, we have the vertical grip on here just to help with our horizontal recoil. I've been sticking with this thing here just because, like, I've been trying to minimize the horizontal as much as possible on this gun, and as soon as you do that, this gun becomes just unbelievably good. So we have the vertical right here, and so I've been rocking that. Magazine, I have the extended mag 1 just because I think 40 rounds is perfectly fine. I'm also not a fan of losing 5 rounds to go for the fast mag 1, and I don't really like how much I feel like I'm gonna get slowed down by running extended mag 2, and the flip mag only has 20 rounds. So it's kind of like you're a little bit SOL, you know, no matter which way you turn, unless you're running the extended mag 1. So I just been sticking with that. And then now we're gonna go for the quick draw grip just for a little bit of ADS speed. We're not gonna be sprinting around too much. Like, we're not gonna go and balls to the wall, but when it comes down to it, obviously you want to be able to ADS. This is an AR, it's not an SMG. We're not trying to have a hip fire, you know, parade here. We're just trying to basically be able to, you know, bring it up as quick as possible from, you know, relative, you know, movement, or just even staying stationary to get them shots off. Stock section, we have the balance stock on here. I've explained this one already. It just does everything you need it to regarding movement, so we've been rocking that. And then lastly, we're gonna go for the 5.56 NATO overpressured rounds, just to increase our overall bullet velocity. We have the damage range barrel and bullet velocity for the fire mod. We put those two together, you're gonna be truly effective and really be able to overpower people on Nuketown, or just even any map in general. So this is my full setup here for the Model L. Lastly, this one's going to be a little bit annoying here, but the ASG, basically I call it the USAS 12. This is going to be a pretty ridiculous shotgun to use here on the game, and especially on Nuketown. So if you guys are trying to get some gold shotguns, or diamond, dark matter, whatever it may be, this is going to be really solid. So first thing here is going to be the full choke. We're running this over like something like a suppressor, just because, I mean, listen, people are going to know where you're at. It's not going to be that big of a deal. You can run the suppressor if you want to, but the full choke is going to help with your overall hipfire spread. And obviously shotguns, one of the best things to do with them is hipfire. You can obviously ADS, but you can really just do some absolute damage by having a nice hipfire spread. So the full choke is what we're going to run for this one. After that, in the barrel section, we're going to throw on the long barrel. This is going to extend out our range pretty much as possible here. I mean, we don't really need a headshot multiplier. We don't really need to make ourselves faster. We just need to basically extend out our range. Shotguns have, of course, notoriously, you know, low overall range for good reason. Otherwise, they would be very broken. And as soon as they do get out past that range, they get very broken and people start abusing it. So that's why we have that on there. Just extend it out as much as possible. Underbarrel section, we're running the Ranger foregrip here. Nothing in here really helps our overall hipfire accuracy, so I just wanted something that's going to give us, obviously, a little bit of sprinting movement speed, and then, of course, horizontal recoil control. So this is like the best of what you can get out of an underbarrel. Magazine section, of course, we have the extended mag 1 here. You guys could go for more or less whatever you want, but I think having 15 rounds in the mag is a very nice number to be able to have. It's not too much, not too little. You can run extended mag 2, but keep in mind you are going to be slower. And of course, Fast Mag 2 has only 8 rounds. Fast Mag 1 has 10 rounds. So I think 15 is a great happy medium number. It's not going to really mess your reload quickness all that much. It's going to be pretty relatively okay. Rear grip section, we're running the assault grip because sprint to fire speed. Listen, our main thing with the shotgun, obviously you want to bring it up, and you don't necessarily have to ADS. You have to just have good sprint to fire so you can get some hip fire shots off. That is king for shotguns. Stock section, we're gonna go for the light stock. Basically, this is the no stock for the gun. It gives you the increased hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. We're just trying to be real quick with this thing because we have to get close quarters to be able to, take people out properly. And then second to last, we have the steady aim laser, hip fire spread. Obviously, it's a shotgun. It's pretty simple. Don't gotta explain this one. And lastly, we're throwing on the rapid fire mod just to make this thing truly really annoying. I mean, 12 gauge slugs, I haven't really tried those. Recoil springs, that's not necessary. So just go for the rapid fire and pretty much just be as annoying as you possibly can be. So this is my full setup here for the ASG. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe to those notifications, turn on, check out this other video on screen. I'll see you all next time.